make it in this that university chapter.
Okay, so we can go.
Okay, so so
Honorable Dennis, it's good to have you on this interview, and
Yes,
this is
please.
happening at the right time where the House has just taken a major decision, and you have been one person seriously opposing to naming a university in honor of Senator Prince Ward Johnson. What's your feeling about today's decision by the House of Representatives to pass um, that communication?
Well, it was business as usual, but this is an extreme case. So on Thursday, there were a lot of support given to my objection when I interposed the charter being created by our legislature to the university named after this warlord and this documented criminal in Senator Prince Ward Johnson. And so on today, which I expected, there was a turnaround because there has been a lot of influence into having people to sway their votes from where they stood for on Thursday, as opposed to what they stood for today in a section on Tuesday. And my reason of contending with the university is not a personal attack on Senator Prince Ward Johnson, but it is in the country's interest. It is best for the country. And I also, in sympathy with the would-be graduate of this notorious war criminal, that the university will become a notorious university to among committee of nations. We do things in Liberia, we think the Liberian way, we work the Liberian way, we act the Liberian way. But I don't think those students will remain in the bailiwick of Liberia all the days of their life. So I gave a scenario. There are smart people from Nema County. There are smart people from across Liberia. Whatever kid get at a university, do say university, have an opportunity to go to a world-class university. Before going to world-class university, people want to know the university that you come from. You say, I am a product of the PYJ University. They ask you what is PYJ. They say Prince Yeribe Johnson University. Who is Prince Yeribe Johnson? Is a documented war criminal. You have ruined that person's destiny. You have ruined that child life. You have destroyed, you have wasted that child's life. My contestation is, Senator Johnson, can you name this university after Nema County? Can you name it after maybe Joseph Seguano? He's a historian. Can you name it after your mother? Can you name it after your father? Do not name it after yourself. I mean, the war has long passed that, and we not dignifying war criminals. They are victims of the civil war that still live around with scars on their memories. We must also look at country image first as opposed to our selfish and personal image. So having a university named after Prince Johnson is not in the best interest of the country. We must do everything in our willpower to ensure that what happened to Liberia in the dark days, it is not repeated. And Liberia is on the trajectory of making things to repeat. So warlords should not be given honor to have a university named after them.
No,
Yeah.
no. This is a university that was built from the finances of the senator, and what we're thinking as to for you to make a recommendation because the building's already there now and put the building there. What would you be recommending?
Like I said, a recommendation, he can name the university after an icon in Nima. If he wants it for Nima, he could name it after, like we passed something for Honorable Weah. It's an act that's named after the city, after the country. But you can't name the act after killing, raping, committing mayhem, atrocity, and crimes against humanity. So what signal are you showing to the younger generation tomorrow that the reward for warlords, you have a university that will be named after you, you'll be uh, dignified as a war criminal. I'm not going to the far where Prince Joseph got the money from. We all know in Liberia that a mere representative cannot be a university on his or his own. If you check it out, Prince Johnson was a county caucus chair, and almost all the countries caucus chair that you see with personal university, they must have directed the county fund into personal fund. However, that is not the issue about. The issue here is the university carrying the name of this killer in Prince Johnson. It's not good for the country's image. It's going to scare away investors, because if you can honor a warlord like that, nobody will want to invest millions and billions of dollars in Liberia.
What is your personal hate about Senator Johnson? Like he said in one of his audios, like you really hate him, especially wherein we are talking about preaching reconciliation now in our country. Senator Johnson, I mean, it's on the pulpit. According to him, he has repented. Don't you think, as an honorable person, you should be now pushing reconciliation instead of you calling him criminal, warlord every time you appear before the media?
Well, I do not have a personal hate for Senator Prince Johnson. Senator Prince Johnson is provoking the victims of warlords, of the impasse of war. If all of the warlords were like Senator Johnson, I believe we would have had a war crime code by now, because he's very provocative. He's not remorseful. He's the only warlord who wants to justify his killing, and he wants to be held and dignified by that. I do not have a personal hate. I have a personal interest of Liberia above any other interest. And besides that, which country in Africa is naming university after someone who carried on genocide in their own country? I don't know why Liberians in Liberia always like to make bad history and bad precedent. So I do not have personal hate for Prince Johnson. I'm just a blunt person. I carry the spirit of truth, and I'm just content.
So does it apply to, let's put it this way, those are all sanctioned now, or like Nathaniel McGee, Bay Travel, and the rest of it, they are being put on sanction by the U.S. government. So if a citizen or a county in those areas would like to put a university in their name, will it make a difference?
Where it is not in the same boat, but indeed it is still something that is wrong with it. There are people in Liberia who live honest and pure and candid life. Why don't we name university after them?
All right, so the House of Representatives, which you represent, you member of that House, has passed that bill. It has been sent to the Senate for its concurrence. So if your call is not being heard based on your own lobbying at the Liberian Senate, that means that charter will be granted the university. So what could you say to that?
I interposed an objection, and I was recognized to strike down the motion. So I was granted by the presiding the motion to reconsider their decisions of the honorable members, and that should be done on Thursday. So I'm going to state my motion to try to convince my colleagues why is it that we should not grant the charter to the PYG University, and that we should communicate to PYG that he should put the country's interest first and don't set us in perpetual darkness through his arrogance and his unwillingness for reconciliation and peace. Like the honorable gentleman talked about peace and reconciliation. Before we talk about peace and reconciliation, we must first identify the problem. You should know that you wrong John. John know that he wronged Mary, and then Mary and John can sit and discuss. As far as Prince Johnson is concerned, he has not done anything to the Liberian people. In fact, he has been sending me personal text messages and threatening me. I'm going to respond to that in the open media, because I do not want to respond to Prince Johnson or to have a personal contact with him. However, if my motion for reconsideration does not suffice and it does not have a change in mind, I have already written an open letter to the president of Liberia, reminding him of his constitutional duty to uphold peace and stability in Liberia. As a matter of fact, before anything becomes law in Liberia, it must pass both houses. So once it passes the Senate and the House of Representatives, the president of Liberia will have to fix his signature, and I've asked him to veto the act, and I stated reason why he should veto said act.
So are you veto the act in totality, or the nomenclature, the name is what you oppose?
It is the name that I am opposing, and the act is mainly centered around the university and that nomenclature.
Yeah, but you just against the nomenclature, but Prince Johnson is the proprietor of that institution. So I can reconcile that.
Yes, he can name it after something else and then we can pass it. I'm looking at the future of the children who's going to graduate from that university. They're going to have that
Don't you think it
calamity
will
and
have
that
an
dark.
impact as him being a proprietor as well?
It is better to have an impact on an individual than to have a negative impact on the entire nation.
Prince Johnson, I mean, like my colleague asked, he has called you to leave him in one of his sermons. This gone summit. Somebody already used to just quote. He said he is not after you. What are you after him? In fact, your election were heavily influenced by him by calling on the Nehemiah living in your district to vote for you. What do you make of that? Are you actually after him?
Well, no, Prince Johnson is after Liberia, he's after my future, and he's after the future of my young friends. So he's after us, and we are actually not after Prince Johnson.
So let's look at what that would mean for Liberia in terms of the budget. If that institution is named in its honor, meaning that will that institution be covered in the budget? Will the country support the school or what?
Well, whether private or public, all universities must be given and that status for charter to be created. I mean, it's something is a formality of the day. However, the only cause of hesitancy is the university carrying the name of this war criminal, this warlord, and that's going to affect the young people that are going to be there. That's the only issue. Another issue will be, oh, where he got the money from. That one is up to him. Liberia has not reached that level. We don't have the capacity, we don't have the people that we attack people for misuse of public funds. However, when it comes to someone who's committed crimes against humanity, a university cannot be named in honor of him.
Thank you.
Or high school is in the
Even high school should not be. And the disappointing is the Committee on Education. Liberia has got a long way to go.
What do you mean?
It is the Committee on Education that did that report. And the laughable part about it, Honorable Joseph Mbole, who's also a warlord, he affixed his signature to that.
He's the chairman of
I mean, it's just like the same culture of impunity. Like
And you're just not afraid talking to warlords, like you
no,
said.
I love George Bore. The reason I love him, he has a side of the story to tell. He's not like Prince Johnson. He called me before. He said, my daughter, you know, we were young and XYZ, happy, and you guys will not understand. At least he has something to say, like he was young, he was lured into doing something. He has some remorse as compared to the volatile.
Has there been any point in time?
Johnson.
Has there been any point in time that Senator Johnson called you as a daughter? Like he referred to you in one of the audios
He
as a
can't-
daughter.
no,
Has he called you to
No,
talk
no,
to
no,
you?
no. I don't have a diabolical father, and Prince Johnson lie. I don't know who is Coco Dennis that was in war. It's a blatant lie. That I don't know anybody.
Has he ever
That
called
was
you?
an argument today between you and.
Yeah, it was all concocted by Senator
So,
Johnson. He
Representative
texted me
Gliga.
that, and yeah, Representative Gliga is in Prince Johnson pocket. He's in Prince Johnson throat.
Calling your colleague to be somebody in another senator pocket.
Yeah, he's in his pocket in the sense that Prince Johnson control. Even Honorable Johnson Gueclo, Prince Johnson wrapping up in a mattress during the 1990 war and beat the hell out of him.
And they are reconciled.
And today, Representative Gueclo is he's putting his hand halfway for that bill. Maybe he's afraid of another flocking.
Senator Johnson said he has changed. He has repented. He is now a revival.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll leave it at that.
As a musician, as a real musician.
She is Rustonlyn
I don't know.
Suacoco Dennis. This one. And she represents District 4, Montserrado County. My name is Hachi Masale. Let us say thanks so much for watching. And as always, tune in to Spoon TV Live.